Hi, my name is Andre. I'm Comrades Green number 54978, and in this video I want to talk to you about the Comrades uprun and specific tips for the uprun. Now, starting with training, I don't train a lot differently whether it's the up or the down run, but for the uprun I do pay a bit more attention to heel work and strength training. Why I think that's important is because about the first 46 kilometers of the Comrades uprun route is very demanding on my legs. So we're going to do a lot of climbing, and all the heel training and strength training will help that we can, or that I can survive this first 46 kilometers and then still have something in the tank to take on the second half. But when I do a lot of heel repeats, it don't just build physical fitness and physical strength, it's also mental toughness that I build, so that I'm more positive in my approach to the heels, and it will help me when I reach a heel, not just to walk it from the bottom to the top, but to at least do a bit of run walk, all the way to the top, knowing that during my little walk breaks up the hill I'm going to recover and I'm going to do another bit of running. I've noticed that a lot of runners, because it's the up run, they get scared and they train a lot more than for the down run. Well, I think a similar training approach to the down run will also get you through the Comrades up run. Accommodation for the Comrades up run is generally a lot easier than for the down run. Most people, or most Comrades runners, prefer to stay close to the start, and Durban just got so much more options than Pietermaritzburg. Now, what I usually did is for the uprun is I search for a hotel or accommodation that's less than 2 kilometers from the start. If I get that right, then Comrades morning, it's less than 25 minutes to walk to the start. And I want to tell you about a few options that I've used before that worked very well for me. And the first one is the Impala Holiday Flats. It's 1.4 kilometers from the start, and it's a real budget-friendly option. I recently stayed there the night before the Baldwin Dolphin Coast Marathon, and I paid 600 Rand for my room. It had a double bed and 2 single beds, a small bathroom, small kitchen. It was very clean, very safe. It was a little bit noisy there until about 9:30 in the evening, but then it quieted down and I had a very good night's rest. Another option that I used a few times is the Road Lodge. So that's the less luxurious option of the City Lodge. It's basically for travelers who just need a bed to sleep at night. The Road Lodge in Durban is just a kilometer away from the start. Although there's 2 busy roads to the north and south of the Road Lodge, I found that when I stayed there, it was very quiet at night. So the room was very soundproof. I had a very good night's rest. There's very little luxury in the Road Lodge. For example, there's not even a kettle, but that's not a problem because there's a 24/7 McDonald's just outside of the hotel, and there I could get my morning coffee that I walk with to the start. Then the City Lodge, 1.3 kilometers from the Durban City Hall. I stayed there. You have a lot more luxury when you stay there. Peaceful, very safe. I can recommend it. It's a lot more expensive than the Road Lodge and the Impala Holiday Flats. But it was from there, very easy walk to get to the start. Then at the promenade facing the ocean, I've stayed in both the Garden Court hotels, Garden Court South Beach and Garden Court Marine Parade. 1.3, 1.4 kilometers from the start, beautiful sea views. And in the morning you'll find a lot of people from the promenade walks to the Comrade start. It's actually quite joyful in the morning when you walk to the start. So that's just a few hotel options. If you want to stay close to the start, you need to book early. They do sell out quickly, but there's a lot of other options if you don't get something close by. Popular areas is Umhlanga, Durban North, Glenwood, Berea. If you stay more than 2 kilometers away from the start, some of these hotels have a shuttle service that takes you to the start, so you can inquire there, or you can use Uber. I've used Uber a few times in Durban, and I was always happy with the service that I got. They are very active early in the morning of Comrades Morning. Something important when you search for accommodation options, make sure that your accommodation will allow you to book out very early. So make sure you can have a very early checkout. If you prefer to stay over in Pietermaritzburg the night before Comrades, there is the option of the official Comrades buses that can take you to the start. Now, I've never on the uprun used a bus to get me to the start before the race. I've used the buses a lot for the down run, and I was always super impressed with this service. But I haven't experienced the start on the uprun bus service. For this bus service, you buy your tickets at the expo. Note that they don't sell tickets on a race morning. But wherever you stay, getting to the start for the Comrades uprun is also significantly easier than getting to the start of the down run. There's just a lot more roads in Durban leading to the city hall in the city center, but also there are thousands of runners that are going to walk to the start. So all the hotels in the city center, at the beachfront, most of these people are going to walk to the start. So that takes a lot of potential road congestion away. So it's so much. There's so much big roads coming into Durban. You've got the N2, the N3, the M4, M12, the R102, all big roads that are getting into the city center area. So a lot of people are going to drive down from Ballito, from Durban North, Umhlanga area down. You're going to have a lot of people coming from the south, Bluff, all the way to Amanzimtoti. A lot of people are going to stay there. Then you get people inland, Pietermaritzburg area driving in. So people come from all directions in. Where at Pietermaritzburg, it's almost just from the north and the south, and there's not so many roads getting to the Pietermaritzburg start. So it's definitely a lot easier reaching the start. Just one note, if you are traveling from Pietermaritzburg down, the Marion Hill toll plaza on the N3 can get congested. So you need to have some extra time, maybe extra 10-15 minutes, just in case of congestion at Marion Hill. I always suggest that people arrive at the start at least an hour before the race starts. This will give you time to settle in. You can put your talkback on the talkback service. You can visit the Portaloo. You can get into your seating pen without any stress. And it will also give you some time for possible eventualities. If there's trouble with your car, if you run out of gas, if something happens, you'll have some time spare so you can arrive on time at the start. So when you get to the start of Comrades, the start in Durban is usually cool to mild. It is very unusual for Durban in winter to be cold or very cold. But I suggest about 3 or 4 days before Comrades, you do consult the weather report. I've stayed in Durban for 12 years, and each winter there might be 3 or 4 days in total that is very cold, where you want a jacket, a jersey, something warmer. But generally, for the start of the uprun, I only take an old t-shirt that I wear over my running vest, and that gives me enough warmth not to stand at the start and get cold. But generally you won't need a jacket or a warm long sleeve layer to keep you warm in Durban. Then for the talkback service, I recommend that every Comrades runner make use of the talkback service to have a warm jacket at least waiting for you in Pietermaritzburg. The finish in Pietermaritzburg is almost always cold. And what happened in the 2024 up run, there was so much congestion there because of roadworks, because of a lot of trucks, and just the pure number of people. And a lot of runners was expecting to get their warm clothing from their support waiting for them at Scottsville Racecourse. But the runners arrived at the finish line, and a lot of the supporters or support crew was not there yet. And sometimes 1, 2, 3 hours they had to wait for the support to arrive with their warm clothes. So pack something for you in your talk bag that you can have ready at the finish area, whether you're going to have support or not. It can be valuable, that talk bag, with some warm clothing. I put a towel in. I'll have sometimes some money in that I can buy food at the finish venue, something to drink. Be ready with your talk bag. For the Comrades Up Run, the first 20 kilometers, I think, is crucial to get right. So I always tell people, if you don't want to run with a plan on Comrades, at least have a plan or a strategy for the first 20 kilometers. That will be from the start till the end of Pinetown, just before you climb Fields Hill. And the reason you need to take the first 20 kilometers the right way is because you're going to be overwhelmed with excitement, adrenaline. It's Comrades. We've been training so hard. We've tapered. We're going to feel so fresh and ready. And then it's so easy to get carried away and run the first 20 kilometers way too fast. And this is maybe the best tip for the Comrades Up Run. You need to take the first 20 kilometers with a lot of respect. Most of this going to be climbing, and some of those climbs are rather tough climbs. And we don't realize it because it's still going to be dark, it's cooler, and we're still fresh and we feel so good and excited. And then we run too fast, and you're going to pay the penalty in the second half. So looking at the first 20 kilometers in a bit of detail. We start in Dr. Pixley Kasemi Street next to the City Hall. And the first about 1.8 kilometers is flat. We run Dr. Pixley Kasemi Street, we turn into Joseph Ndluli Street, then it becomes the N3. And then after a while, we start our climb to Tollgate Bridge. It's about 2 kilometers of steep climbing to reach Tollgate Bridge. Then there's a little down to Mallstyles, then we climb again, steep climb up. Then we take the Mayville off-ramp, steep down but short, and then we climb almost a kilometer to the top of 45th Cutting. On the other side, about a kilometer down 45th Cutting Hill, we go over the N2 and then we enter Westville. Now Westville is about 6 kilometers long, mostly climbing all the way. It's not steep, but it's a gradual climb almost all the way till the end of Westville. End of Westville, we take the off-ramp and we start our climb up Cowie's Hill, the first of the big 5 hills. 2.1 kilometers of climbing up, and then just under a kilometer of downhill and into Pinetown. And then about 3 kilometers, a gentle climb through Pinetown. Now at the end of Pinetown, we start the very steep and long Fields Hill. But by the time you reach the end of Pinetown, the novelty has worn off. So we're not just starting Comrades anymore. The runners will know now it's starting to get serious. So now it's easier to run on feel and get it right. Because we're over the excitement, we're over the adrenaline. We now got a long way to go to reach the finish line. And Fields Hill, because the start of Fields Hill is so steep, very few people will start or blow it by running too fast up Fields Hill. So get this first 20 kilometers right. Treat the uphills with a lot of respect. Start walking early on. I start walking at every water table. I take a little walk break just to hold me back a bit. So run the uphills very slowly. Take extra walk break if needed. And then when there's downhills, don't walk the downhills, run it, let gravity help you, but don't speed down them and damage your quadriceps. So I go a bit faster on the downs, I don't walk the downs, but take regular walk breaks, on the flats and the uphills, and survive this first 20 kilometers feeling very fresh and strong at the end of Pinetown. For me on the uprun, the most difficult part is to get to the top of Inchanga. Now in Changa, the climb, you start just after the halfway mark in Drummond, then it's a 2.4 kilometer up in Changa. But the difficulty of Inchanga is not just that 2.4 kilometers, it's the whole 46 kilometers from the start, which most of it is uphill, uphill, uphill all the way with very little downhills until you reach the top of Inchanga. And it's always my plan at the up comrades to reach the top of Inchanga, still feeling okay, still having something left in the tank. Then I know I'm going to have a very good second half and a great comrades. For me, it always feels like getting to the top of Inchanga takes very, very, very long. It's a long day to reach that point. But once I'm at the top of Inchanga, then time just flies all the way to the finish line. Let me quickly tell you why, because there's a lot of excitement on the route all the way to the finish line from the top of Inchanga. It starts with 2.5 kilometers of downhill, and of course on the up run, any downhill I don't want to walk at all. So this I'll run maybe 5:15, 5:30 per kilometer pace all the way down. You reach the bottom of Inchanga, then it's about a 600 meter climb, then another 600 meters and you pass the Etembeni school. Always exciting running past the school. The school children, the teachers will stand there and cheer you on. It's a school for physically handicapped children and vision impaired children. And they're excited. They try to high-five you there next to the road, high-five them and get past them. Once you pass Etembeni, it's only 6 kilometers. When you run through Harrison flat area, most of it beautiful running, but a little bit of hills in between. And then you get to Cato Ridge. Cato Ridge is very popular with supporters, so the supporters will cheer for you as you make your way through Cato Ridge. You get out of Cato Ridge, it's 4 kilometers, and then we're in Camperdown. Camperdown also a nice hotspot for spectators. They'll cheer you through Camperdown. Once you're through Camperdown, it's 4 kilometers about, and then you reach the highest point, Umlaas Road. This is a very tough section, a lot of climbing to reach that highest point. But from the highest point, it starts with the 7 kilometers, mostly downhill. And this is important if you're in trouble, you feel like you're running out of time. This 7 kilometers, make the most of them. Try to walk as little as possible. If you're in pain, bite your teeth, bite your tongue, your cheek, but try to jog without walking most of the 7 kilometers. As you go down past Linfield Park, all the way down to the little Mpushini River. When you cross that, you're going to start the climb of Ashburton. Now the climb of Ashburton, 1 kilometer long. You can walk most of it to recover some strength, because at the top of that you're in Ashburton, get through Ashburton, and then it's just over 1 kilometer of downhill again. Make the most of that kilometer, run it down. You go over the Umkondeni River, and around the corner you're going to see a water table. Get some water, spray your face, take an extra water, then for the walk up Polly Shorts. Polly Shorts 1.8 kilometers long, and very few people do run even part of Polly Shorts. So be prepared to walk all the way up, spray your face, spray your legs if they're burning, walk it out if you have to. But once you reach the top of Polly Shorts, there's about 7 kilometers to the finish line. And the majority of the 7 will be very easy downhill gradient running. There's depending on the specific route, but most of the times there's only 2 climbs left for the day. Top of Polly Shorts, we're in CB Downs Road, and at the Murray Road intersection, there's quite a steep, you go through a dip here, steep down and up, and then a bit further, CB Downs become Washington Road. And just after it became Washington Road, we start climbing, and it's a longer, not so steep, but longer climb. We We conquer that little hill, and then it's all downhill and flat all the way to the finish line. So it's a very exciting, full of support second half. Get to the top of Inchanga feeling good and have a happy second half. Let the crowd pull you to reach the finish line. So once you cross the finish line, you get your medal, get your soup at the soup tent, get your talk back, get warm. Wait for your support or your lift, if you maybe use the bus to take you back to your accommodation. But be prepared for a lot of traffic congestion. In 2024, as I said, it was hectic, the traffic in and out of Maritzburg. The CMA did say they're going to appoint somebody specific to look at the traffic flow and come up with a good traffic plan for after Comrades. I'm not so sure it's easy to solve. There's just not enough roads from Scottsville out of Pietermaritzburg. I hope they have some plan, but be prepared to be stuck in traffic. So it's important, go and visit the loo before you climb into the car or the bus, and have some water, some snacks with you that you can stay hydrated, have something to eat, and hopefully it will be less than an hour of congestion before you happily on the freeway driving to your accommodation to start your recovery and then to start training for the next Comrades Marathon. That's all from me. That's my tips for the Comrades Up Run. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did. All the best with your training. Hope to see you on the road. Keep well.